I've been feeling kind of nostalgic recently. So let's talk about nostalgia. So nostalgia is kind of a weird part of life, and this is being prompted by a few TikTok videos, the 2000s nostalgia TikTok videos in particular. I've seen them, and it brought me right back to childhood. And then I started thinking, what's the depth of nostalgia? What causes it? Why does it happen? I think there's quite a few answers to this. So nostalgia is weird because most people think of nostalgia as a memory from their childhood. They're kind of forgetting about a little bit, but it's still back there. But it's not always personal. Nostalgia can happen by looking at an image of, let's say, an old McDonald's play place. That can bring nostalgia, even though you've never been to that play place. Or if it's a picture of an arcade, and you've never actually been to the arcade, but it's something from around your time. It can also be a commercial. Even if it was made in that time frame, it can bring a very nostalgic feel, and I think it's because that was the norms for our society, and now they've changed with the world, and so that makes it feel nostalgic. Another thing is places. Tell me what places you guys think are nostalgic. I think of bowling alleys, movie theaters. Even if they're like newer, I feel like they're kind of a thing of the past in a way. So I think in 20 years, we're probably going to be looking at movie theaters and bowling alleys as being nostalgic. I don't know. Is there any places that give you guys the vibes of nostalgia in the current day? Another thing I think prompts it, other than personal experiences and just the feeling of that time frame, is having your last time doing something. Everyone has their last time in everything. There's the last time you've built a snowman, the last time you've eaten a popsicle, the last time you've gone to school, the last time you've played on an arcade machine. It can be very simple things. But when you have your last time doing something, it gets logged away in your brain as nostalgia. So another thing about nostalgia is it's not just images, it's not just places, it's also sounds. The sound of a flip phone, the sound of an old CRT TV, how it hums and rings, and a VHS player, the scratching sound of a vinyl record. Even the simplest sound there is. These are all things that can cause nostalgia. When you haven't heard it for a long time, you hear it again, and it just it brings you back. So why does nostalgia happen? It's when time warps your memories in a way. So when I was a kid, it was normal. You would buy a DVD, bring it home, and come from the Blockbuster. Those aren't around. That's nostalgic in itself because it's a place. But when you pop in the movie and you boot it up, and then it has commercials. And DVDs don't usually have commercials anymore. And then it has the pause menu, or the start menu, I guess. And it's usually got a video of some sort that just sits there and loops. And that's very nostalgic for me. Or burning CDs, because there have been a couple times I've burned CDs. Not a lot, but a few. So that's kind of nostalgic. And it's because these were things that were popular at the time that now they feel very nostalgic. Even if it's just brought up in conversation. So there's kind of an unreal quality in nostalgia. And if it's the McDonald's play place, maybe you're imagining the certain plastic that was used on the play place that nowadays isn't used so much, right? It changes over time. Maybe you're remembering how logos and brands and stores used to look before they all got optimized for the newer generations, right? They're all sleek and more digitalized, whereas before they looked retro. Early commercials, bowling alley commercials, they give me a lot of nostalgia. Early websites, early video game consoles, they're all very old feeling, and just that old feeling helps to create the nostalgia. A lot of media now is very sleek, and there's a lot of things that used to be done or be said that wouldn't cross the line so much versus today it would. They've just tried to clean up a lot of stuff in terms of commercials and branding and everything. I guess the last point I want to touch on is what's going to feel nostalgic in the future, in 20 years. Probably DVDs, because I think they're all going digital. If you're born before the 2000s, what feels nostalgic for you? I know I was born in 2003, but I do remember stuff from 2002, 2001, because it was still around, obviously. Yeah, I would love to know kind of what feels nostalgic to you. How do you feel about nostalgia? Do you like it? Does it make you really sad? I know there's some nostalgia I get where it's kind of really upsetting, and I get the feeling of I really want to go back there. You know, it was a nicer time to live in quite a lot of ways. Yeah, tell me your experience with nostalgia. Is there some nostalgia that's like really hitting home for you? Yeah, so leave a comment. What feels nostalgic to you? Why is it nostalgic to you? And when did it come out, if you know that? And yeah, I talk about stuff like this all the time, so please consider subscribing, liking the video, and I'll see you in the next one.